Scary Stories in the Dark. The New Chief Warhawk. Here's a dramatic and immersive retelling of the story from the perspective of the man who discovered the origin of Chief Warhawk. I arrived at the edge of the valley as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the land in hues of gold and crimson. The air was thick with the scent of pine and the faint whisper of a distant river. This place, untouched, sacred, and alive, seemed almost otherworldly. I hadn't seen another soul for days, yet as I stood there, taking in the scene, I felt the weight of unseen eyes upon me. Then he appeared. Riding in on a jet black stallion, a figure emerged from the tree line. His presence was commanding, his silhouette framed by the fiery sky. He wore a headdress of feathers that seemed to catch the last rays of the sun, glowing like embers. His face was painted with streaks of red and black, and his eyes burned with a wisdom and intensity I had never encountered before. This was Chief Warhawk. The chief dismounted with a fluid grace, his moccasins silent against the earth. He strode toward me, his expression unreadable but not unkind. Without a word, he extended his hand in greeting. I took it, feeling the strength in his grip, and though no words had passed between us yet, I knew I was in the presence of someone extraordinary. "Come," he said finally, his voice deep and resonant, as if it carried the weight of the earth itself. "It is important that you enter my daughter's hut." His words stirred my curiosity and unease, but I followed him without question. He led me to a large structure adorned with intricate patterns and symbols, its entrance flanked by two torches that flickered in the growing darkness. As I stepped inside, my breath caught in my throat. 9 women stood in a perfect line, their beauty beyond anything I had ever seen. Each one was adorned in vibrant garments, their hair woven with beads and feathers, their expressions serene yet inviting. They moved as one, bowing slightly in unison as I entered, their eyes fixed on me. Chief Warhawk stood beside me, his gaze sweeping over the women. "Choose," he said simply. The weight of his command was overwhelming, but my eyes were drawn to one of the women, taller than the rest, with eyes like the night sky and a presence that seemed to pull me toward her. I stepped forward, and she smiled, her lips parting ever so slightly as if she had been expecting this moment all along. The chief nodded approvingly and motioned for us to begin. What followed was a night unlike any other, a whirlwind of music, laughter, and dance. The others formed a circle around us, their voices lifting in hauntingly beautiful songs as my chosen partner and I swayed to the rhythm of the drums. We feasted together, sharing food and drink, and as the night deepened, the chief guided us back into the hut. The other women followed, their presence silent yet undeniable. What happened next was both surreal and primal, a consummation of the bond that had been formed, witnessed by the 8 who remained. By dawn, everything had changed. Chief Warhawk approached me as the first light of day broke over the valley. He placed his hand on my shoulder and spoke words I will never forget. "You have proven yourself worthy. From this day forward, you are one with my people. You are their leader, their protector. You are chief." And so, I became Chief Warhawk, stepping into a destiny I could never have imagined. That valley became my home, and those who dwelled there became my family. The memory of that night, of the chief, his daughter, and the bond we forged, remains etched into my soul, a testament to the power of tradition, unity, and fate. A cognitive function. A story told from the inside of a human brain. Once upon a time, deep within the complex labyrinth of the human brain, there was a tiny yet mighty force known as cognitive function. She was not alone in her endeavors, she was part of a bustling metropolis called the mind. Here, cognitive function had many siblings, such as memory, attention, perception, and decision making. Together, they worked tirelessly to help their human host navigate the world. Cognitive function was unique because she was the orchestrator, the conductor of the mental symphony. She didn't work in isolation. Her power came from collaboration. Her primary job was to think, analyze, plan, and solve problems. But how did this all begin? The birth of a function. Cognitive function was born when humans evolved the prefrontal cortex, the brain's control center. This gave her the tools she needed to reason, reflect, and dream about the future. Unlike her more primal cousins in the brain, like instinct and reflex, cognitive function loved complexity. Her favorite tasks were solving puzzles, imagining the impossible, and weighing consequences. She thrived in the rich environment of the modern world, where challenges came not only from survival but also from social interactions, scientific discoveries, and artistic creation. The journey of growth. But cognitive function was not infallible. She sometimes fell prey to biases, little traps set by the brain's shortcuts. Confirmation bias and overconfidence were her mischievous adversaries, always looking for ways to distort her clarity. The struggles. As the human host grew older, cognitive function faced challenges. Distractions from modern technology and overwhelming amounts of information threatened her efficiency. Yet, she adapted, learning to multitask and focus selectively. However, overuse could exhaust her. When the human didn't sleep or managed stress poorly, cognitive function grew sluggish, like a tired traveler weighed down by fatigue. She knew the importance of rest and mindfulness but often struggled to convince her host to prioritize them. The legacy. Cognitive function's story didn't end with one individual. Her influence shaped societies, from the first wheel to the moon landing. She was the heart of progress, the architect of civilizations. But she always reminded her host of her limitations, urging them to work alongside their emotions, intuition, and creativity. Her legacy was a simple yet profound truth. To think is to grow. To reflect is to understand. To create is to thrive. And so, cognitive function continues her journey, one thought at a time, in every mind that dares to imagine.